Maya Chun pressed her forehead against the cool glass of the hospital window, watching the Seattle rain streak down in rivulets. Below, the city lights blurred into watercolor smudges of amber and white. Behind her, machines beeped steadily, monitoring her father's fragile heartbeat. "Maya, sweetheart." Her father's voice was barely a whisper. "You should go home. Get some rest." She turned, forcing a smile. "I'm fine, Dad. I'll stay a bit longer." Thomas Chun looked so small in the hospital bed, diminished by the cancer that had been slowly stealing him away for the past year. The experimental treatment was their last hope, but it came with a price tag that made Maya's stomach turn: $300,000. Money they didn't have. The art gallery he'd poured his life into was hemorrhaging cash. Years of poor investments and mounting debt had left them drowning. In 2 weeks, the bank would seize everything. Her phone buzzed. Another rejection from a potential client. Maya's architecture career, once so promising, had stalled as she'd taken on freelance work to cover her father's basic medical expenses. Every door seemed to be closing. "Miss Chun." A nurse appeared in the doorway. "There's someone here to see you. He says it's urgent." Maya frowned. "Who?" "A Mr. Damien Frost." The name sent a chill through her. Everyone in Seattle knew Damien Frost, the enigmatic CEO of Frost Enterprises, a man whose business empire spanned real estate, technology, and venture capital. He was only 35 but commanded rooms with the authority of someone who'd never heard the word no. He was also notoriously private, rarely photographed, and never married. Maya found him waiting in the family consultation room, standing by the window in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent. He turned when she entered, and she caught her breath. Damien Frost was devastating. Sharp cheekbones, a strong jaw, dark hair swept back from his face, and eyes the color of winter storms, gray with flecks of blue. But it was the coldness in those eyes that struck her most, like looking at a frozen lake that hadn't thawed in years. "Miss Chen. Thank you for meeting with me." His voice was smooth, controlled, revealing nothing. "Mr. Frost. I'm not sure why you're here. I'm here to make you an offer." He pulled out a leather portfolio, extracting several documents. "I'm aware of your father's situation. The medical bills, the gallery's debt. I can make all of it disappear." Maya's pulse quickened. "In exchange for what?" 18 months of your time. As my wife." The words hung in the air like smoke. Maya laughed, a sharp, disbelieving sound. "You're joking." "I never joke about business, Miss Chen. This is a straightforward transaction. You marry me, maintain the appearance of a legitimate relationship for a year and a half, and in return, I'll cover all your father's medical expenses, save the gallery, and provide you with a settlement of $2 million when we divorce." Why would you possibly need a fake wife? Something flickered behind his eyes, pain, maybe, or old anger. "I have my reasons. Several business opportunities require a certain stability of image. A family man is more trustworthy than a perpetual bachelor. You need resources. I need a wife. It's mutually beneficial." Maya's mind raced. This was insane. Marry a stranger? But the alternative was watching her father die and losing everything he'd built. "I need to think." "You have 24 hours. Damien placed a business card on the table. "My attorney will contact you with the contract details should you accept." He moved toward the door, then paused. "For what it's worth, Miss Chen, I'm not asking you to love me. I'm asking you to help me maintain an illusion. Nothing more." After he left, Maya stared at the card in her trembling hands. Her phone rang. Marcus, her boyfriend of 3 years. "Hey, babe. How's your dad?" "Not great." She took a breath. "Marcus, something just happened." This billionaire, Damien Frost, he offered to pay for everything if I marry him for 18 months. It's insane, but I don't know what else. Wait, Damien Frost? The Damien Frost? Marcus's tone shifted. Maya, maybe you should do it. Her blood went cold. What? Look, we've been drifting apart anyway. Long term, I don't see this working. You're always stressed about money, your career isn't taking off. This could be your way out. Take the deal. Set yourself up. Are you breaking up with me right now? I'm being realistic. You should be too. The line went dead. Maya stood there, phone pressed to her ear, feeling like the floor had dropped away beneath her. When she returned to her father's room, Thomas was awake, watching her with knowing eyes. What did that man want? Maya told him everything. Thomas was quiet for a long time. I won't tell you what to do, sweetheart. But I will say this, sometimes life demands impossible choices. Whatever you decide, I'm proud of you. That night, alone in her tiny apartment, Maya stared at Damien Frost's card. She thought about Marcus's betrayal, her father's deteriorating health, the gallery that held decades of memories. She picked up her phone and dialed. Mr. Frost? It's Maya Chen. I accept your offer. The wedding took place in a private room at the Seattle Art Museum, cold, elegant, efficient. Maya wore a simple ivory dress, her dark hair swept into a low bun. Damien stood beside her in midnight blue, his expression carved from stone as they exchanged vows that felt hollow. No guests. No flowers. No kiss. Just signatures and a platinum band that felt like a shackle. We should go, Damien said the moment the officiant finished. I have a conference call at 3. His penthouse occupied the top floor of the Frost Tower, 50 stories above the city. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed Puget Sound like a living painting. Everything was sleek, modern, expensive, and utterly soulless. Black leather, chrome accents, abstract art that meant nothing. Your room. Damien opened a door to reveal a stunning suite. Mine is at the opposite end. We share the kitchen and living spaces. My housekeeper, Mrs. Park, comes Tuesdays and Thursdays. I leave for the office at 6:30, return around 9. Weekends are for client dinners and charity events, which you'll attend. Do you ever stop working? Maya asked, his jaw tightened. Work is simpler than feelings, Miss Chen, Mrs. Frost. The correction felt like ice water. That first week, they existed like ghosts haunting the same space. Damien left before dawn, returned late, barely speaking beyond necessary pleasantries. Maya spent her days setting up a small home studio, working on architectural sketches, trying to ignore the loneliness. The charity gala came too soon. Maya wore an emerald dress Damien's stylist had selected, and when she emerged, she caught something flash across his face before the mask returned. You look appropriate, he said flatly. The event was a parade of Seattle's elite. Maya smiled until her face ached, playing the role of devoted wife while Damien's hand rested coldly against her lower back. Then Victoria Kane appeared, tall, blonde, perfect, and clearly furious. She cornered Maya near the champagne fountain. So you're the one who finally hooked him, Victoria said, her smile venomous. Tell me, how much is he paying you? Maya's blood ran cold. Oh yes, I know all about Damien's little arrangements. He tried this with me 2 years ago. I was smart enough to refuse. Victoria leaned closer. He's incapable of love, darling. His heart died with his first wife. Victoria. Damien's voice cut through like a blade. He appeared beside Maya, his hand sliding to her waist, possessive, protective. Leave. Now. Still defending your investments, I see. Victoria's laugh was cruel. No. Damien pulled Maya closer, and she felt heat radiating from him for the first time. I'm defending my wife. Something you'll never be. Victoria paled and retreated. Maya looked up at Damien, seeing something raw beneath the ice, anger, yes, but also pain. Thank you, she whispered. His hand lingered on her waist. She had no right. That night, unable to sleep, Maya wandered to the kitchen for tea. She found Damien standing at the window in a t-shirt and pajama pants, the most casual she'd ever seen him. Can't sleep either? She asked softly. Never could. He didn't turn. Victoria told you about Elena. Your first wife. She died 4 years ago. Car accident. She was pregnant. His voice was flat, emotionless, but Maya heard the carefully controlled agony beneath. I was driving. I survived. They didn't. Maya's heart cracked. Damien, I stopped feeling that day. Easier that way. Work. Money. Control. Those things make sense. He finally looked at her, and his eyes were bottomless wells of grief. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. You deserve better than a hollow man. Without thinking, Maya crossed to him, taking his hand. It was warm, trembling slightly. You're not hollow, she said. You're hurt. There's a difference. For a moment, his fingers tightened around hers. Then he pulled away. Good night, Maya. But something had shifted between them, like the first crack in winter ice. Maya discovered the studio by accident 3 weeks into the marriage. A door she'd assumed was a closet opened to reveal a sun-filled room filled with canvases, paint-splattered drop cloths, and the sharp smell of turpentine. The paintings took her breath away. Seascapes churning with emotion, portraits of a woman with kind eyes, abstract explosions of color that screamed pain. This was where Damien's frozen heart still beat. You weren't supposed to see these. His voice came from behind her. Maya turned. Damien stood in the doorway, vulnerability naked on his face for once. They're beautiful, she said. Why hide them? Because they're honest. And honesty is dangerous. He stepped inside, closing the door. I painted every day before the accident. After. I couldn't. Until recently. What changed? His eyes met hers, storm-gray and intense. You did. The air between them suddenly felt charged. Maya's heart raced as Damien moved closer, close enough that she could see gold flecks in his eyes, smell his cologne, cedar and something darker. This wasn't supposed to happen, he said roughly. You were supposed to be a transaction. What am I now? A problem. But his hand lifted, fingers ghosting along her jaw. A beautiful, complicated problem. Maya's breath caught. Damien, his phone shattered the moment, buzzing insistently. He stepped back, the walls slamming back into place. I have to take this. But after that, everything changed. Damien started coming home earlier. They shared dinners, conversation flowing easier. He asked about her architecture projects, she asked about his paintings. Touches became frequent, hands brushing, shoulders bumping, lingering glances across rooms. The tension built like a gathering storm. Then Victoria struck. Gossip columns suddenly buzzed with speculation. Frost marriage a sham? Anonymous sources claimed the relationship was contractual, that Maya was a gold digger, that Damien's business deals were built on lies. Maya found Damien in his office, tie loosened, face haggard. It's Victoria, he said. She's trying to destroy the merger with Chen Industries. If they think I'm unstable, they'll pull out. What can we do? Nothing. I won't ask you to lie for me anymore. He looked at her with something like desperation. Maya, I'll dissolve the contract. You can leave. Your father's taken care of, the settlement. What if I don't want to leave? Damien froze. What? Maya crossed to him, heart pounding. What if this stopped being a transaction for me too? Don't. His voice was ragged. Don't say that unless you mean it. I mean it. She cupped his face, feeling him tremble. I'm falling for you, Damien. The real you. The one who paints. The one who's scared to feel again. I'll hurt you. But his hands found her waist, pulling her closer. I don't know how to do this anymore. Then we'll figure it out together. He kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate, drowning, for years of frozen emotion thawing all at once. His hands tangled in her hair, her fingers gripped his shoulders. They stumbled backward, knocking against the desk, and Maya gasped as he lifted her onto it. Tell me to stop, he breathed against her neck. Don't stop. Clothes fell away. Damien's touch was reverent and hungry, mapping every curve like he was memorizing her. When they finally came together, Maya saw tears on his cheeks. I love you, he whispered, broken and beautiful. God help me, I love you. I love you too. They stayed tangled together as night fell over Seattle, two damaged people finding wholeness in each other, but when Maya woke at dawn, Damien was gone. Only a note remained, I'm sorry. I need to end this. Maya found the contract dissolution papers on the kitchen counter, already signed by Damien. Her hands shook as she read, releasing Maya Chen from all obligations, effective immediately. Settlement to be transferred within 24 hours. He was setting her free. The idiot thought he was doing her a favor. Mrs. Park arrived, looking worried. Mr. Frost left early for an emergency board meeting. He seemed upset. Maya checked her phone. Dozens of messages from unknown numbers, reporters, probably, circling the scandal. But one caught her eye, from an anonymous sender. He's trying to save you by sacrificing himself. The board wants him to prove the marriage is real or resign. He's choosing resignation. A friend, where's the board meeting? Maya demanded. Frost Tower, executive boardroom, but Maya was already running. She burst into the 65th floor boardroom in jeans and Damien sweater, hair wild, 20 pairs of eyes turning to stare. Damien stood at the head of the table, mid-sentence, his face going pale. Maya, what, don't you dare resign. She marched forward, ignoring the murmurs. Don't you dare give up on us because you think you're protecting me. This isn't the place, this is exactly the place. Maya turned to the board members. You want to know if our marriage is real? It started as a contract, yes. I married him to save my father. He married me for business optics. But somewhere between the negotiations and the notarized documents, something happened. I fell in love with a man who hides his heart behind spreadsheets and thinks he doesn't deserve happiness. Damien's jaw clenched. Maya, please, I fell in love with a man who paints beautiful, heartbreaking pictures in secret. Who lost everything and rebuilt himself into something strong but forgot to leave room for joy. Who thinks loving me makes him selfish, when really it makes him brave. She faced him fully now, tears streaming down her face. You want to set me free? Fine. But know this, I'm choosing you. Not the money, not the security. You. The broken, brilliant, impossible man who somehow learned to feel again. The boardroom was silent. Damien stared at her like she'd torn open his chest and exposed his heart. I don't deserve you, he whispered. That's not your call. It's mine. Maya stepped closer. So here's my offer, Mr. Frost, forget the contract. Marry me for real. Choose me every day, and I'll choose you back. We'll mess up, we'll fight, we'll have to figure out what love looks like when it's not scripted. But it'll be ours. Damien's control shattered. He crossed to her in 3 strides, cupping her face, kissing her like she was oxygen and he was drowning. Yes, he breathed between kisses. Yes to all of it. Yes to you. Someone cleared their throat. The board chairman, an elderly man with kind eyes, smiled. Well. I think that settles the question of authenticity. Welcome back, Mr. Frost. And congratulations, Mrs. Frost. Later, in Damien's office, he held Maya close. I have a confession, he said. I've been anonymously funding your architecture firm for 2 months. Sending clients your way, covering startup costs. I wanted you to have your dreams, even if you hated me. Maya laughed through tears. That's your secret? I'm not good at this. Relationships, emotions, being vulnerable. I'll probably mess up constantly. Good thing I'm patient. She kissed him softly. We've got time to figure it out. A lifetime, actually. A lifetime sounds perfect. 1 year later, Maya stood in the gallery her father had rebuilt, now thriving, hosting her first major architecture exhibition. Her sustainable housing designs had caught national attention, and 3 were already under construction across Seattle. Thomas Chen, healthy and beaming, raised a champagne glass. To my brilliant daughter and her equally brilliant husband. Damien appeared beside Maya, sliding an arm around her waist. The gesture was natural now, easy. He'd learned to touch without flinching, to love without fear. How are you feeling? He murmured, his hand drifting to her rounded belly. Maya was 5 months pregnant, glowing with health and happiness. Perfect. Though our daughter is apparently training to be a kickboxer. She gets that from you. Stubborn, fierce, beautiful. Damien kissed her temple. I have something to show you later. After the guests left, he led her to his studio, their studio now, where Maya's drafting table sat beside his easel. A covered canvas waited in the center. I've been working on this for months, Damien said, suddenly nervous. It's for you. For us. He pulled away the cloth. Maya gasped. The painting showed her in the studio, sunlight streaming through windows, her hand resting on her belly. But the background was filled with images, their wedding, both versions, the cold first ceremony and the intimate real one they'd held 6 months ago with family and friends. Thomas laughing. Mrs. Park rolling her eyes at their kitchen antics. And in the corner, faint but clear, Elena, smiling, her hand reaching out as if offering a blessing. She would have liked you, Damien said quietly. She always said I needed someone who'd challenge me, fight for me. I think she'd be happy I found my way back. Maya turned, tears flowing freely. It's perfect. You're perfect. I'm not. But with you, I'm trying to be better. He knelt, pressing his forehead to her belly. Both of you make me want to be better. You already are. Maya threaded her fingers through his hair. You chose love over fear. That's the bravest thing anyone can do. Their daughter kicked, and Damien laughed, a sound that came easier now, more frequent. She agrees. That night, tangled in their bed overlooking the sound, Damien held Maya close. Do you ever regret it? He asked. Accepting that first contract? Never. It brought me to you. Even though I was insufferable. Especially because you were insufferable. Made the character development so much more satisfying. He laughed, kissing her. I love you, Maya Frost. My wife. My partner. My choice. And I love you. Every day, for the rest of our lives. Outside, Seattle sparkled under stars, and inside, 2 people who'd started as strangers had become something unbreakable, a family, built on honesty, healed by love, and strong enough to weather any storm. The frozen heart had finally thawed, and in its place bloomed something warm, wild, and wonderfully real.